Hey everyone, welcome to the Networking and Referral Marketing for Assisted Living module. I think this is module 6. Anyway, so this is part of the Assisted Living Marketing Blueprint, which is also a part of the 10 steps to open your assisted living facility, which is a tremendous value that we offer. So the referrals marketing, network marketing is so important to your business. There really is no better lead that comes to you than somebody that already knows who you are or has heard about who you are or your business has been recommended by somebody in the industry that they trust. So there's really, if you can build your business around networking, referral business, then you are setting yourself up for success for a long, long time, because it's very expensive to acquire a new customer. I showed you in previous videos how we're doing advertising and marketing to try to get a new customer to even just come by and see your place. But the person that's been referred to you, I'll give you an example. There's an elder law attorney that would always send us business, and I never met this person. I never met the elder law attorney, and they had other clients that had heard about us, and they knew that we did a good job. I think they might have had clients in our facility, and people would just say, hey, this elder law attorney recommended you. And that's a pretty powerful referral or resource. So of course I reached out to that elder law attorney and developed a relationship. But that's how powerful a referral can be. And that's why in the beginning, you're always going to have a mix of everything when you're doing your business. You're going to have referrals, word of mouth, you're going to have advertisements, you're going to have events, everything. You're going to find business everywhere. And eventually the idea is that you build a good reputation, because the thing with assisted living is you have a cap on how much business you can do. Unlike, let's say, an insurance broker, and they can take on as much business as they can find. They can build in another wing of the office, hire more people, move to a bigger building, hire the staff that they need. But you have a physical limitation on how many clients you can take in. And what I've heard over and over again is from like placement services or referral sources, the good ones are full. And there are other good ones out there, but they just don't know them like they know the good referral sources. So you want to become a trusted referral source in this business more than any other business. I could tell you, hey, Jason, there's this great pizza shop in town. You know what? That's okay. Everybody's got an opinion. This person could say, hey, I don't like that pizza shop, or I like that pizza shop. You still would give them a chance, because the worst thing that could happen is you just don't like the pizza. And you can look at the pictures, you can, even when you walk into the restaurant, you can see the pizza on the tables, look at the menu, maybe you decide to leave. But if somebody tells you that this assisted living facility does a great job, they cared for a lot of my friends or family, that's pretty good. But think about the opposite. Think about that person saying, hey, don't go to this assisted living facility. It's devastating. Nobody's gonna, what's the worst that could happen if that person is right? Very bad things could happen. And that's what people are afraid of. They don't want to put their mom or dad into a place and they get neglected, or they don't get the care that they need. So you need to really be aware of your reputation, how you fit into this community of care, which is this overall healthcare community within your market. Referrals are the lifeblood of your business. When we were running our facility, Ocean Breeze Gardens, we always ran ads and we always did things, but the calls that I loved getting the most is when I asked them how they heard about us, or they said so and so referred us to you. And those were the easiest sales to make because they're already pre-sold on what we did. I had people call me and they would say, do you have any space? And I'd say nothing right now. And they'd say, well, whenever you have a space, can you reserve a spot for me? And I'd say, well, why don't you come by and take a look, and we can. And they say, I already have been to your place. I visited, Susie's daughter, and Susie's mother there, and I'm sold. I don't even need to see your place. Just when you get a room open, call me. I want to be first on the list. That's fantastic. It didn't cost anything. All it did was just do what we say we're going to do and go above and beyond that. So ads are expensive. They can be expensive. I showed you as much as $10 per click just to get somebody to know that you're there. They go to your website. That doesn't even mean that they're going to choose your facility. The church bulletin running for a year is going to cost you, $2,000. So if we can build a referral source or a referral-based business, then it will mitigate some of those other expenses where you could spend it more on other things to improve the quality of care, improve your networking, improve your referral-based business. So like I said, the customers that come to you who are referred are just pre-sold on your services. They already appreciate what you do. They know what you do. So it's one thing for me to say, if you move your mom or dad into our facility, we're going to take care of them like they're our family. We treat them like our family. Everybody says that. And it's really easy to say, but it's one thing to actually have confirmation of it from another source that's saying, yeah, they actually do a good job. They do what they say they're going to do. So I think that, as you progress in your business, this has to be your main focus of your marketing strategy. This has to be your main focus. And then the other things need to sustain you and fill in the blanks and build a pipeline of business and awareness of business. So you aren't totally dependent on people referring you business. I do know people who only accept referrals. But that's scary because what happens if something happens? And in business, something always does happen. Somebody's has a complaint, that you're in the news for some reason. Things can change on a dime. So you also, even though referrals are very important, you don't want to be totally dependent on that. Here's another example. Let's say there is a nurse practitioner in town who you get all your business from, they refer business to you, or a geriatric care manager, and you have a falling out with them, or something happens and they just cut the pipeline off, or a new place opens up that's better, and all of a sudden your pipeline of business is gone. So you want to build, multiple streams of referrals. So what we're going to try to do is to supersize your referrals and make the pipeline like big and wide open. And it takes a system. It takes a persistent effort of networking and marketing and getting to know people, and then actually just doing a really good job. So we're going to try to implement a systematic approach to attract referrals. And it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes a long time, and you have to work at it. So the most important thing to get referrals is to be the best that you can possibly be. And that's basically it. I mean, if you do a really good job, if you did nothing else, once you got some business, you're going to get referrals. Same is true with being a real estate agent or a doctor or anything. You do a really good job, you be the best that you can be, you be better than everybody else, and you follow through with the things that you tell people that you're going to do, then that's your first step in attracting referrals. So your reputation is everything. If you get a bad reputation in the healthcare business, the long-term care business, then you are totally dependent on only new people coming in. And guess what they'll do? When they'll go look at your reviews, they'll go look at your Facebook reviews, they'll go ask around other people, maybe somebody they know, a healthcare nurse in the industry, and if they say stay away from your place, you're toast. Toast. So your reputation is gold, and you need to treat it like that. That pizza shop, if they get some negative reviews, you can overcome those things. But a healthcare business, it can be devastating. It almost needs a management change, a new ownership, a new name, a rebranding in a sense. So is your business, everybody wants referrals, but is your business, is it worthy of referrals? And you need to take an honest assessment of your business and analyzing your competition to see, where do I fit in to this environment? I mean, let's just say, for example, you do 24-hour shifts. So you have a caregiver who comes in, they work, some people do 3 days straight. And the facilities in town, they don't do that. They do hourly shifts, 8 hours a day. Are you putting yourself in the best position to get referrals? And if people in the industry know these things, they come and they see the same caregiver there all the time. They're like, do you ever go home? But it may be okay in your market. You just have to really understand what your competition is doing and go above and beyond it as best you can. And that means your decor, and it means your food, and it means your activities, and it means your appearance, and it means your landscaping. Everything is above and beyond. And the personalities, the happiness of your staff. So you should not be okay with just average, just getting by, putting down food just because, there's some sandwiches with one piece of lunch meat and a piece of, Kraft Singles cheese. That's lunch. Yes, technically you met the definition of lunch, but guess who's coming to see mom at lunchtime? And guess who's going to see that food and say, this sucks? Or let's say the home health company that's coming to do therapy or nursing services, and they see your residents having, a handful of potato chips. And so is your business worthy, and you shouldn't be satisfied with average. Also, another thing is how you treat your employees and how you treat your customers. So I do know people in the healthcare business who can be confrontational, and they can be tough, and you become hardened because you need to be hardened. It's serious. And your employees aren't always going to be perfect. How do you treat them? Do you treat them with respect? Do you stand over their shoulders? If the nurse that comes to visit or the family member comes to visit, most of the time you're not going to be there, but your employees are going to be there. And a lot of times the home health nurse, the family, visiting physicians, the podiatrist, anybody who comes to see the place, they'll just start casual conversation with the employee. I know I would. Hey, how's it going? How long have you been here? Oh, you've been here a year? That's awesome. Do you like working here? What do you like? And then what if the employee says, I really hate working here. They treat the employees miserably. They don't pay us well. They don't give us any breaks. We don't get vacation. There's no benefits. They're mean. They're greedy. Like, imagine the employees saying these things. Like, these are going to absolutely affect your referral-based business. Even the length of the time that the employee, every time somebody comes, there's a new employee. That doesn't reflect well on management or ownership. If I came to an assisted living facility, and I'll give you an example, there's long-term care nursing homes, they call it skilled nursing home in Melbourne, and I love it. It's called Life Care Center. And every time I go, I see the same employees for years and years and years. Same employees, same caregivers, same social workers, same nurses, doctors. Everybody's the same. That tells you something, doesn't it? In an industry that has high turnover. And they all have a positive attitude and no complaints. And anything that I need, they're helpful, and they stop you in the hallway and they greet you with a smile. That leaves an impression on me. And whenever anybody asks me where I should send mom to get that hip replacement because she fell, I say, well, I love every time I've gone to visit this long-term care facility, they're always nice. The staff's always the same. Everybody always had a good experience. So the length of time your employees are there is a big deal. And that goes to how you treat them, how you value them. And you could have a customer that is very unhappy, or that you have to ask to leave, or that changes. But remember, a person is going to tell 10 people about a bad experience, and they'll tell 1 in 100 about a good experience. Unless if somebody asks, because they expect a good experience. They expect, people are glass half full type of people. Most people are trusting, and they believe that that's why they put their loved one with you. They believe that, they believe what you said. They believe that you're going to provide quality of care. They believe that you take care of your employees. They believe that your food is good, your activities are good. You're going to do all these things. For whatever reason, that doesn't happen. And the family comes to you and they're upset. You're going to be confrontational. How do you handle those situations? Because they could go and tell their neighbors never to go to your place. Even if they're unhappy, even if they leave, you could just still find a way to keep that relationship positive. Hopefully they understand why you did what you did, or they understand that you have implemented changes to address those concerns going forward, to make sure, was it a bad employee? That employee is no longer with us. Was it bad food? These are the steps that we've taken to address those things, and I really appreciate that you brought that to my attention. And I sincerely apologize that you had this experience, and the only thing that we can do is try to improve from this point going forward. Those are the type of responses that will make people feel like you're addressing concerns and you're making changes, because you're never going to be perfect. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Okay, and there's a lot of moving parts, and there's going to be things that go missing, and things that are forgotten, and things that happen along the way. So you need to figure out a way to address these concerns. But how do you know if your business is just average? Okay, you think it's great. Everybody thinks their business is great. But how do they know? How do you know if it's average? And you need to go and ask questions. You need to ask your current customers. You need to ask your past customers. You need to ask people in the industry, hey, that home health nurse that's visited you a few years ago, give them a call. Hey, I'm doing a quality assurance program. I'm trying to find out where we can improve, where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are. What do you think about what we do? Ask honest questions. And when you go around and you go visit other facilities, be honest with yourself. Are the employees dressed fantastic? Do they smile? Do they love what they do, love where they are? Does the place look great? Do the residents look well cared for? Do they have a robust activities program, and maybe you don't? You need to ask those questions and do your research, and that's where your quality assurance program will come in. So you want to visit as many competitors as you can. Now, if you're already existing in a business, it's a lot harder to visit existing competitors because they're going to know who you are. You probably did your initial research. They get to know all the owners in town, so you couldn't just go and secret shop. But you could send somebody that you could send a family member, you could hire somebody to do that. I'll mention that a little later in this slide. But you have to do an honest comparison. And some of that would be asking your customers, asking your vendors, hey, what do you think about the service we provide? Okay, let me compare it to the other services that you've been to. A home health nurse or a hospice CNA has been in all of the facilities. The marketing person who works for hospice or home health would probably, give you some fluff. But the nurse, the CNA, they'll give you an honest opinion about your competition. That would be a fantastic place to start. And don't get defensive. They're giving you their honest opinion, and wherever this is valuable feedback. So you should also implement a program where you periodically send out an email to past customers, past clients, current customers. or give them a survey to complete anonymously. You know, create a survey on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate our food? You know, just make your little sheet, and in the resource section of this training, I think I have a, a survey, a quality assurance survey that you can use, and I'll do a quick video on it also in this training so you can see and customize it to your own likes and dislikes. And get honest feedback, have a place for them to drop these comments. And you're not going to know who left what. That would be the ideal thing. But you can address concerns. You could implement a secret shopper program. So hire somebody on Craigslist or a family friend or something and pay them to go and do a tour of your competition. And you might have to pay them, you know, $50 a facility or whatever you can figure out. Maybe $100 a facility, and have them write a report. And maybe do this once a year. I think 50, you know, you'll have to figure out what you feel is fair. And hold on, I'm going to take this. So whatever you think is fair, you know, but I would do it once a year, maybe every other year. New places come up, send somebody out, maybe occasionally, and then you'll get their feedback. Tell them, don't sugarcoat it. You know, find out about pricing, find out about the way the place looked, the way the place smelled, the way the staff were, and then have them secret shop your place as well. So don't tell your employees. That would be somebody that your employees don't know. Have them come in and arrange a visit of one of your residents, and maybe a person that is not cognitively impaired. Tell them, hey, I'm going to send one of my friends to visit you, and coordinate it with them, and let them come in and just see how those employees are acting and how they greet people and if they're following your protocol. So phone calls with past clients, pick up the phone, call them, both happy and unhappy, right? And it could be unhappy people that really were not happy, and say, listen, I'm trying to improve, and maybe depends how unhappy they are, but you can ask important questions. So after you gather all this information, you need to fix the problem. So the first step was to understand the problem. Okay, what are my problems? And then we need to start to fix those. And some things can't be fixed overnight, but we need to develop a plan. How are we going to address all of these issues? Let's say part of your problem is the decor. The decor is not nice, it smells. Well, maybe you need to implement a plan to replace your furniture. I think we'll talk about that a little later. And you need to share some of these concerns that you have, that your secret shoppers had, that other people in the business have had, and then you need to share them with your team. Now, let's say, for example, the people said, well, your staff aren't friendly, they don't greet people, they don't smile. Those are things that we can work at, and we can explain to them why it's important to smile and why it's important to greet people, and that you do have a secret shopper program that, you know, from time to time you'll send people through and ask their feedback on these things. That's implementing a system to fix the problem. It's not just fix it one time, it's a way to fix it on a long-term basis. And you have to remember that some of these employees didn't fail you failed them. You didn't have a system in place, maybe they didn't have the proper training, and then you didn't have the follow-up. So let's say you did tell them, hey, you know what, this is how we treat our visitors. We smile, we offer them all a drink, we offer them to sit down and have a snack or a meal, but they don't do it. Yes, it's their fault, but it's also your fault that you didn't have a action to follow through. So you want to follow up, you want to share the results, you want to practice, and then you want to test. And those are ways that you're going to make sure that you're fixing the problem and you're addressing it for the long term, so it's sustainable. Because you do it temporary, you know, you call a meeting because you got these results, it's not going to be a long-term fix. So first impressions do matter a lot. And I say out with the old. Everybody's heard that saying, out with the old, in with the new. And when people come into your facility or your home, the way that it looks, the way that it smells, the way that it feels, everything matters. And if you can imagine going into a home that's for sale, a model home, even a large community, everything is staged perfectly. If you go on a large community tour, for example, they will probably take you to a model room that's staged, and they keep it as a model room. And maybe at some point when they get close to being full, they'll consider turning it into a not a model. So what we would do is every time we had a room turnover, we had staging furniture. And my dad would do this. He loved doing it. So the room would turn over, and he would go in and we'd clean it, paint it, touch it up. And then we'd make sure the lighting works, and then we'd stage it with all our nice staging furniture. And when somebody comes in and you say, we have great care. Let's just say it was a referral, and this elder law attorney said, hey, go to Jennifer's home, ALF. It's a great place. They provide great care. They walk in and it smells and it's dirty. That they're only getting half the equation right. You're only getting half the equation right. So some people can overlook that because they had a good referral, and some people, there's just no way. They'll just walk out. You could see it on their face. I had this one building that it had a smell sometimes, and maybe it was a particular resident or something, and I would walk in and I would know instantly. You could see it on the face of somebody. So we constantly trying to address those things. And you can't see the care, but you can see the environment that they're going to be in. And is this a place, first of all, that I want to leave my mom? I promised my mom or my dad I would never put them in an assisted living, and I'm having a hard time actually doing this because I promised them, but I need to do it. Is this a place that I could leave my mom or dad in this environment? One, and two, is this a place that I even want to come back to? Because that's what sometimes family members are placing people with their eyes, using their eyes. It may not be what's best for their mom. You may provide the best care, but they're also placing it with their own experiences, and they do have to come to this facility. How often would they want to be here and visit their mom? Is there a place to go take them? And when you open and you're new, everything is new. Furniture's new, or it's the best it's possibly going to look. But these assisted living facilities have a lot of traffic. Furniture gets used, everything gets dinged. You got medical equipment like walkers and wheelchairs that hit walls, scrape baseboards. The front doors get damaged. So everything gets used. You need to replace, and you need to touch up, and you need to constantly be looking for things that would be not appealing to the customer. So staging is important. Keeping an eye out for things are important. And I say that you want to reinvest, upgrade, replace, and remodel. So if your furniture is bad, it's getting old, it's got stains, you could try to upgrade it. You could try to put comforters on, covers on it. They have couch covers. That'll get you another, year or so, whatever it is. Leather's torn, or you need to figure out ways to patch it or to upgrade it. If you need to replace it. If you see a good deal or good sale, I'd always be looking for ways to upgrade. Hey, this couch is on Craigslist and it's really cheap. So look for things that are good deals that you can go pick up and replace what you have. It also makes it feel fresh and vibrant. Some things start to smell. So you want to get rid of anything that could potentially smell or look soiled or stained. And you will get in trouble with the state if they do look damaged, stained, because you got to maintain a good physical environment. But that doesn't mean that even if it looks good, that it appeals to the eye. Does it look like a model home? So what you want to do is you want to constantly be finding ways to never-ending improvement, replace, upgrade, remodel. And that includes even floorings. I mean, if you see a little cracked tile or dirty grout, sometimes you just need to get somebody to get in there and clean the grout. Cabinets need touching up and painting. Doors, those are always constant things that you need to do. Dust on the ceiling fans, those type of things. So when you walk around your business, or if you visit other facilities, you're going to see things through your customer's eyes. What would your customer be looking for if you were placing your mom or dad here, or your referral source? What would your referral source think? So keep it fresh, keep it smelling good, stage vacant rooms. Touched on all those. Who is a potential referral source from your networking sources? Every single person is a referral source. Every single organization is a referral source. And I mean organization like the police department, the fire department, everybody is a referral source. So you need every single person that you come into contact with, you need to treat them with kindness, with the thought that you're planting a seed in them that isn't just a one-time experience. I know somebody that's very confrontational, and this person butts heads with local authorities, fire marshals, and even ACA when they come. The state agencies, treat them with respect, treat them kindly. If they have a disagreement, I just say, I understand, let me address your concerns, because that leaves them feeling like you care. So every single person, you will get calls from people who ask really dumb questions, or you just got to treat everybody like their question is important, their time is important, and that's how long term you're going to leave impressions with people. Unexpected sources are here's an example. Somebody we used to have these people that would drop off used magazines, and they'd just bring them, and sometimes people would say, yeah, go ahead, just leave them at the door. Go ahead and that was just a kind thing that they would do. They had magazine subscriptions, and or they were clearing out their garage and they found these old magazines and they wanted to do a kind thing for their assisted living down the street. So they call you and they're like, hey, I just got these old magazines, maybe your residents or... That is so nice of you. Thank you so much. Take the time to meet that person, right? They come to the door, you bring them in, offer them a cup of coffee, maybe think about where we would put them, look through the magazines for a few minutes, figure out which residents would like which, maybe take one of the magazines with that person to the resident. Hey, Betty, I know you loved cooking. Here's a great cooking magazine that we got for you, and we got a whole stack of them for you. Okay, you've just planted a seed in that person, and they're going to continuously do it. They're going to go they just felt good about themselves because they volunteered and made Betty's day much, much better. And they're going to live with that for a long time. And anytime anybody says, do you know of an assisted living facility? Guess what that person's going to say? You need to go and see that place down the street. They take really good care of their people. They care. Every opportunity to get somebody to come into your place is a great opportunity. When people come in, your employees should be smiling and happy. I mean, that's the least we can ask them to do. Smiling and happy faces. But they have to be truly happy. I mean, you can't just, have unhappy employees. If they're not happy, find out why they're not happy. Ask them, do polls, do surveys of your employees. How can you improve? And it's not always money. Sometimes it's flexibility of schedule. Sometimes it's having a caring, understanding boss. Maybe you need to do more employee parties or recognition, those type of things. So Your employees are the most important part of your equation. These are the people that are taking care of, they're your product, right? Your house and your building is one part of your product, but that's not why that's not why they're moving their loved one to your assisted living facility, because mom already has a house. They don't need the housing. They need what happens in the housing. They need the care. So your care is your service, is your product. And your caregivers and your people who work for you it is your product. And you got to treat them well, you got to appreciate what they do, and you got to recognize them. When people do come, I mentioned it earlier, you want to make them feel really, really welcome. And one little tip I would give you is that make sure that you are, every single person that comes, the staff should know, you should always offer them a snack and offer them a beverage. And have some, whatever beverages, have an assortment of beverages. Our consultant partner, she has a little coffee station set up, and every day they set it up. They've got the Krups coffee, they've got cookies, fresh cookies out there, they've got an assortment of snacks, tea. Anytime somebody comes in, your staff should say, "Hi, Jennifer," she's a home health nurse. "Hey, help yourself to some coffee and cookies. We just made these cookies," right? Like, that just needs to be, that when somebody walks in, they feel like that it's home and it's comforting. If any employee or any customer or anybody, one thing you need to do is you need to listen. Listen to your customers, listen to your employees, and don't just disregard what they say. You need to try to address their concerns. So here's a typical example of an employee. "Hey, Stacy, how's it going? How are you doing? How's your family? Okay, yeah, oh, that's awesome. How are things going? How are those shifts going? Is your schedule working out for you? Okay. Well, the thing is, I really am getting tired of working Saturdays. I've always been working Saturdays, and some new people, some other people, they don't ever have to work Saturdays, and it's, I just would like to get one Saturday here or there." So you say, "Stacy, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Maybe I didn't know, or maybe you told somebody and it didn't get to me. So let me look at the schedule and let me see how I can mix it up." And everybody should at least work one Saturday, to be fair. "And let me see if I can make that happen for you. And if for some reason, schedule comes out and you didn't get a Saturday or something, don't hesitate to bring it to my attention, because, I know that it's difficult to always be working the weekends, but it's so important to us. And I know that that's why we hired you in the first place, but I definitely can see with the time that you put in, that, it's only fair to try to get you something." So, that's a simple way to address it. Try to be fair, follow through, and actually do what you say you're going to do. And if you need to hire somebody who only works Saturday, just one Saturday a month or 4 Saturdays a month, then maybe that's what you have to do to help Stacy. And maybe you have a little overstaffing because you moved, then so be it, because guess who you can call if somebody else calls in sick? You can call that person that was working the Saturday shift, because they want more hours. You can try people out that way. It's a good way to give flexibility. Hire part-time people. Let's say a home health company. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about those networking people. And we talked about how you be great and how you fix those systems, because it's one thing to ask for a referral, but it's another thing for them to be like, "Well, I'm not going to give you a referral. You suck." So you need to make sure that you're taking care of home first, and then you need to start developing those relationships. You can be developing the relationships from the beginning, going to networking events, building your network. But you don't necessarily have to ask for business yet. You want to make sure that you're good and you know what you're doing. And you could have some sort of testimonial booklet that like you can give to people. Like, here's some testimonials that I have from people. So maybe make a little testimonial sheet that has a quote from family members, current family members with their phone numbers, like a reference sheet, and say, you put that together and have it available so that you can give it to people that you're actually asking for referrals from. But let's say here's an example. Home health marketing person comes to your door. Hey, just want to tell you about our services. We do home health, we do physical therapy, we do nursing. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Come on in. Make them feel welcome. Give them a tour. It's an opportunity for you to introduce your services to that person. They're there to talk about their services. If they're really good, you'll catch it. If they're really good, they're not even going to talk about their services. They're just going to say, hey, I'm just trying to get to know all the facilities in town so that I can, help some of our families that might need it. And they don't even talk about their services. That's a good one, and you can learn from that person. So take them in, show them around, offer them a beverage or whatever it is, and then sit down and truly learn about their business, truly care about their business, build the relationship. And then I would say, I really appreciate you coming by to see my place. I like the material that you've brought me here. I'm going to see where I can, ways that I can give it to my families. Maybe I can send an email out to all my families. But I'll definitely, if they need these type of services, I'll definitely mention it to them. But I'd love to see your office. Can I come by your office or come and see your place? I appreciate that you came to see mine. Oh yeah, our team would love to meet you and see you. So go to them and see if you can return the favor. Any way that you can develop that relationship and follow through. This is serious here. You want to build relationships, this is how you do it. Follow them on their LinkedIn page. Make sure you've got a connection with them. Follow their Facebook page from your Facebook page. Let them know that if they ever have any articles or content or messages they want to share with the public, that you're more than happy to share it on your Facebook page. So you want to ask them how you can help them. And those are some ways that you can voluntarily help them. Hey, if you ever have a new program or if you're doing any events, I'd love to know. If you're doing events, speeches, if you're going to be setting up a booth anywhere, so that you can share those posts on your Facebook page and with your family members. You got to remember that you ultimately want these people to care as much about your business as you care about it. And it's really hard to do, but by showing that you care and listening and doing for them without any expectation in return. Don't go into this. I've been to networking meetings where people they expect a referral. Like they don't even there's a networking group called NPI, and you should look into them. But basically, they have one person from every industry who make up this closed group, and they literally pressure you to give them leads and referrals, and you're not producing enough referrals. It's kind of a weird situation, but if you can get into one, go check it out. But you don't do something. You don't build networking or build your referral network by doing something with an expectation for a return. You do it just to do it, and you do good and you help people and are sincere. That's what you do. And then they'll care about your business as well. So one thing that I would recommend you do is I would recommend that you have business cards for your employees to give out. If anybody has any problems, questions, or concerns, like they should have your cell phone number on the card. And the employees should be empowered to go ahead and hand them out, no problem. And tell them that you're okay with texts or phone calls. Okay? Or if there's a manager on duty, like give them a manager's card for different time hours. I'm sure you have a manager on duty all the time, on call, at least in case something happens. So you want to create a follow-up system. So you're going to go to these networking events. You're going to find them all over town. You're going to meet people in the industry, and you're going to build a relationship with them, invite them out to your place, go see their place, get their email address, connect with them on LinkedIn, follow their Facebook pages, whatever you got to do to build a relationship. And then you want to follow up with them, check in with them. How's it going? What's going on? And then if you do get a lead from a referral, then you want to follow up with your referral source. So like the example with the elder law attorney. Person showed up at my door and they had been referred to us from the elder law attorney. So I would definitely, even if that person chooses to or not move into your facility, I would write a note or give them a call and tell them thank you. And then if they do decide to move into your facility, maybe keep in touch with the referral source and let them know, hey, this client that you sent decided to move their mom into our facility. I sincerely appreciate the trust that you have bestowed upon us. And then every now and then, get a picture of the person or an update, send them an update throughout the process. And all the way through till the end, till the person passes or they moved on to a different place for whatever reason. Let them know that you appreciate it all the way. And in the process, ask them how you can help them. So it's a two-way street. A lot of people think networking and referrals are one-way street. It's a two-way street. And whenever you can send a referral, definitely send a referral to that person. And I always said, I don't get anything out of it, but if you could let them know that I sent you there, I'd appreciate it. And they'll go into the elder law attorney if I referred business to that person, and they'll say, hey, Calais from Ocean Breeze Gardens facility sent me and told me that you could do a good job with wills and trusts and estates. And I would make a spreadsheet of your referral, your networking people, and then I would put these leads or the ones that move into your facility associate them with your referral source so you can follow up with them and then implement a process maybe once a month. Go through, send everybody an email, personalized, or a card, send a thank you card, maybe with a gift card or like a Starbucks gift card. Send a text message them if you can, just to let them know you appreciate it. But I'm going to keep going back to it. Networking, you have to give to receive. It all starts with that. Being great, and then you have to give without any expectation of anything in return. So here's a sample follow-up system. When you first get the referral, whether it turns into a customer, you should begin your referral follow-up system with a thank you, and then a progress, and then a success. I mentioned that earlier. So you'll send a thank you for thinking of us, a progress on the lead if they decided to go with you or not. You can still send them a card or something. And then if a success would be upon completion of providing that service, whether the person, moved on, passed away, whatever it is, just say, we did the best we could and we think we did a great job. And thank you. So step one, send a thank you card or an email. Here's an example of what it would say. Dear Jim, I want to sincerely thank you for the referral of Mr. Johnson. I will treat Mr. Johnson to our 5-star customer service experience and appreciate your faith in our team. Jim, I want you to know that every day I will be looking for the opportunity to return the referral because I believe you provide outstanding service as well. The second card, follow-up, or email would be to your referral source, and this is an idea you could use. Dear Jim, I wanted to give you an update that Mr. Johnson has decided to move his mom into our facility. We are beyond excited to help him and his family, and we will work tirelessly to offer them our 5-star customer experience. Jim, you have helped my business so much. I'd like to sit down and brainstorm ways that we can help you. Number 3. Dear Jim, it is with the deepest regrets that I inform you that Mr. Johnson's mother has passed away under the care of hospice. We are extremely appreciative for the opportunity to help their family for the last year and a half of Mom's life. Once again, I cannot thank you enough for the faith that you put in us with this referral. I believe we now have a lifelong connection to a great family in our community. Sincerely, Calais Stockstill. So you do those 3 things, email or card to each of your referral sources, and I can guarantee you nobody else is doing that. So referral sources are in your assisted living business. I probably should have put the slide in the front, but it's okay because we need to be great, and then we need to learn to give and have a process in place. But basically, you're going to build a network of people that you work with. Some examples are home health agencies. There's other assisted living facilities, maybe not directly in your neighborhood or in your area, but even if they are in your area, they could be a large place, or they could be a small place, or they could do something that you don't do, like limited, mental health or nursing services. So develop those relationships. Independent facilities or larger ALFs, skilled nursing, medical equipment, hospitals, discharge planners, doctors, hospices, group homes, daycare centers, elder law, financial planning, companion services, pharmacies, rehabilitation, did I say transportation already? Transportation, nonprofits, geriatric care managers, physical therapy, networking meetings. You have to know all the networking meetings and try to go regularly, and you'll meet all of these people. Chamber of Commerce, you'll meet other businesses, so you can network with other businesses, and just healthcare networking in general. And the more you put yourself out there, the more people you'll meet. And some people you'll like, some people you won't like, some people will be irritating. But don't stop going, keep putting yourself out there, and it'll happen. But connect with them all on LinkedIn and try to find ways that you can help each one of these people. Now, each one of them has to worry about where business is coming from, unless they're established and they've been in business for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and they don't really even need to worry about business. It just comes to them. But there are younger people within the industry who you can collaborate with and put together events or do things as a group. So there's a lot of opportunities building this referral network. And these are services that all of your residents will need at some point. So it's good to know which services they need, and that would be the good approach to say, I'm opening an assisted living, or we have an assisted living, and we're trying to make sure we're giving our customers the best options out there. We'd love to hear about your services. Nobody's doing that. So the networking or the referral marketing network, it's a two-way street. So if somebody's sending you business, try your best to send them business if they do a good job. And that goes back to the point where you have to be great. And it's difficult if you get somebody that's sending you business but they're bad. It's a touchy subject. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. Do you send business to somebody that you don't like the way they do business? It's tricky. Maybe talk to them about some issues that you've had and try to help them improve. That might be a valuable piece if they're open to it. Help your partner in other ways. It's hard to do two-way streets because some services, they're further down the food chain, and you may never be able to send them business, but you can help them in other ways. So you'll have somebody that's constantly sending you business, and you can't necessarily help them, but you can't return the favor, but there's something that you could do to help them. Go and ask them. Find out how you can help them. An example of somebody being helping in other ways would be a hospice or home health company They don't always have referrals for assisted living facilities, but they want referrals from assisted living facilities. So it's a one-way street for the most part, unless they do things to help you in other ways, like they offer training for your staff, they host activities for your residents, they host events, co-host events with you, they bring in guest speakers. There's a lot of ways that you can help other people that may not be giving you referrals, but you can find other ways. And then build loyalty with those people. Continue to reach out, continue to connect, continue to participate in their functions and events. So here are some more ways that you can help. Help me help you. Show a sincere interest in their business. Ask them how you can help. Sometimes just having a brainstorming session, trying to help people, let me help you try to figure out how to get more business, would be valuable time. Maybe set up a networking brainstorming group to brainstorm on ways you all can help each other. Do cooperative advertising promotions, marketing promotions, host events together, parties. You can do traditional advertising together. You can take the content that they create and publicize it for them, put it on your Facebook page, put it on your website, put together a newsletter. You can follow them on social media, share their pages, make comments on all their posts, be very involved with everything they do. LinkedIn, if they make any posts or do anything, you can work with them. Remind them that you're there. That's how you do it. So create a mastermind group, brainstorming, helping each other out, share resources and connections, so they might need to know somebody and you know them. And then develop an email list and share it with your networking group. If maybe you can, if you all have 100 people on your email list, maybe together 10 of you have 1,000 people on your email list. That's pretty valuable. So in conclusion, we want to create a systematic approach to generating referrals and networking, and we have to set goals and deadlines and track results. And the way you do it is I put together the success checklist, which is basically a worksheet, and you can lay it all out, come up with the plan, and the success checklist also includes being consistent on content creation, posting on social media, marketing, going to networking events, hosting events, scheduling tours. It's all a matter of breaking it down into step-by-step daily things that you can do to achieve these goals. And I mentally just run through this list in my head. So I try to always make content on certain days, or I juggle a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So I'm able to accomplish a lot. And I think people get bogged down in tasks and trying to get, I need to organize these files over here. But that's not really going to bring you any business. I mean, you can have somebody else help you to organize files, help you to do paperwork and clean your desk. But what you need to do is the tasks that you need to be working on, at least if you have that sheet as a reminder to say, these are my daily things, these are my weekly things, these are my monthly things, and I have 10 minutes today, so I'm going to check one of these things off my list. And at the end of the month, if you're able to check off all your things, you're able to implement a systematic approach towards all of your marketing and advertising. And so I like I said it before, I'll say it again. There's no one magic source for all your leads. You need a well-rounded plan. You don't want it coming from one source. You don't want to rely only on placement services. You don't want to rely only on Google Ads or even your Facebook page, because you could get negative reviews there and it drops your rating down, and people you need to work towards getting that back up. But if you're implementing a content creating strategy where you're driving good positive reviews and testimonials, then even one bad testimonial or one bad review is not going to harm you. So I hope this helped, and we are going to go on to the success checklist. And if you haven't bought the 10 steps to open an assisted living facility program yet, you're missing out. It's extremely valuable. Over 12 hours of training. Have a great day.